Manny Pacquiao, you're not on my level. Manny Pacquiao, you will never be on my level. Period. Simple and plain. Accept the loss and say, you know what, Mayweather, you know what, you was the better fighter. It's okay to be number two. It's okay to be right behind me.
Floyd was in his prime. That would have been incredible to see which style's superior. Because Floyd would move towards you like this, he would just get right up on you. It would just show you how good Floyd really is. Because of the fact that he's won decisions by, playing it safe.
In a jaw-dropping exchange that left both fans and host Joe Rogan wide-eyed, Floyd Mayweather delivers sharp and unsettling warning to his longtime rival Manny Pacquiao during a recent episode of the Joe Rogan Experience. What started as a thoughtful discussion about legacy and greatness took a dramatic turn when Mayweather, brimming with trademark confidence, addressed Pacquiao's rumored return to the ring. With Rogan momentarily stunned, Mayweather made his point crystal clear. If Pacquiao is seriously thinking about stepping back into the ring with Money Mayweather, he should prepare himself for a harsh wake-up call.
That in my mind right now, because my focus on Saturday. I always say one at a time. Let's talk about it after the fight, and let me focus this coming fight, because this is not an easy opponent. Like, he's a champion, he's taller than me, so I have to be ready 100% mentally, 100% physically, and 100% of course, like the way I pray to God.
To grasp the weight behind Mayweather's latest warning, we have to revisit the iconic rivalry between these two boxing titans. Mayweather, 50-0, and Pacquiao, August 2nd, 62, have long been considered among the greatest fighters of their generation. Their much-anticipated collision in May 2015, dubbed the fight of the century, became one of the highest-grossing bouts in history. Although Mayweather claimed victory by unanimous decision, debate raged among fans and analysts, with many pointing to Pacquiao's injured shoulder and the underwhelming action in the ring from both sides.
His left hand was fast, his right hand was fast, and he was throwing them both fast and strong. But when it's all said and done, he was a beat fighter. From round one, he knew it. I can't beat Floyd Mayweather. 6 days before the fight, he boxed 4 rounds. And if you go look, when he came out to Las Vegas, he was throwing combinations. Everything seemed just fine. Waving to the crowd, both hands. Manny Pacquiao, you're not on my level. Manny Pacquiao, you will never be on my level. Period. Simple and plain. If you lost, accept the loss and say, you know what, Mayweather, you know what, you was the better fighter. You was the better fighter. It's okay to be number two. It's okay to be right behind me. It's okay.
For years, Pacquiao relentlessly pushed for a rematch, insisting he hadn't been at full strength and promising he could topple the undefeated champion. Mayweather, however, continuously brushed aside Pacquiao's challenges, opting instead to enjoy retirement, focus on high-profile exhibition matches, and grow his brand beyond the sport.
Manny Pacquiao shares his thoughts on a rematch with Floyd Mayweather.
In the future, would you ever do a rematch versus Floyd Mayweather?
I'm active. He's not, so hard to say.
If he were to be active, would you consider?
If he wants, I don't think he will fight.
This next year, I hope to see you here in Japan again with a big fight against
Floyd Mayweather.
Floyd Mayweather, yeah.
The rivalry between Floyd Mayweather Jr. and Manny Pacquiao remains one of boxing's most storied and profitable sagas, stretching over a decade. Their long-awaited showdown in 2015 was the climax of years of hype negotiation and public demand. Talks of their first meeting date back to 2009, when both men stood atop the sport. Yet disputes over drug testing terms and promotional control stalled the fight for years, fueling anticipation even more.
Any version of Mayweather would have always beaten Pacquiao, in my opinion. I think Mayweather would have always done what's necessary for Pacquiao. Manny Pacquiao had a greater career, but I think Mayweather's a better fighter. And I think Mayweather had the right things for somebody like Pacquiao. I mean, he had the right one-punch speed. He had the right IQ. He was bigger than Manny with longer arms. He had great feet. It's just a kryptonite for Manny Pacquiao. I personally thought so.
Manny Pacquiao spoke about that he shouldn't have.
Floyd Mayweather.
Floyd Mayweather, yeah.
Because it's a time and a place for everything. I'm not gonna say he's right and I'm not gonna say he's wrong. You know, but it's so crazy. When he spoke about it, I could have easily came out and said, yeah, you spoke about it. I ain't have to say nothing. Just by you saying my name, they gave me a check for $4 million. He said my name when he didn't supposed to. Remember I said, it's a time and a place for any and everything.
I'm not gonna say he's right. And I'm not gonna say he's wrong, you know? But it's crazy when he said it. Mayweather remarked, I could have just said nothing and still, just by him saying my name, they cut me a check for $4 million. He continued, he said my name when he wasn't supposed to. I've always said there's a time and a place for everything. In a bizarre interview that's since gone viral, Pacquiao claimed he actually beat Floyd Mayweather, the 8th division world champion. Speaking with absolute seriousness, explained that when the 2015 fight is played back in slow motion, you can see I landed more punches. Fans were left stunned, reigniting fierce debates about the decision that saw Mayweather win unanimously. Pacquiao doubled down, saying his shoulder injury hindered his performance, but insists slow motion replay tells the real story.
I went to the hospital and got operated with my
Yeah, you got an operation, yeah.
Yeah.
I remember you posted a picture of
It really hurt.
Was he better or worse than you thought he was?
No, that's his style. Like, I knew it. But the thing is, I'm expecting that I won the fight because he didn't throw a lot of punches. I throw a lot of punches. And I reviewed the compy box, like slow motion from first round to 12 rounds, like how many punches get connected and how many punches of him he connected. You know, that's boxing.
Yeah.
I'm not complaining or making, just it happened that way. Yeah. It happened to me many times.
Did you want a rematch with Floyd?
I'm still active. It's up to him if he.
You got a lot of slack for saying Manny Pacquiao is a better pound-for-pound fider than Floyd Mayweather. I actually disagreed with you.
Pacquiao wasn't able to make flyweight. He was a flyweight who won the lineal championship. So if that's not the most, or one of the 2 or 3 most impressive things in the history of boxing, the fact that he could move up, give me an example of another flyweight who was the lineal champion, moved up, won a bunch of titles in between, and then was that good as a welterweight. Pacquiao won lineal titles, indisputable, that's the man who beat the man, or else putting belts together. No one had ever done it before, ever. A lot of great flyweights. No one ever did that. No one ever came close to dreaming about doing that, and then Pacquiao did it. So the fact that Pacquiao is even competitive with Floyd Mayweather, who's one of the greatest pure boxers ever, I really don't have a horse in the race. I always thought Mayweather was going to beat Pacquiao. I never thought Pacquiao was going to beat him.
Joe Rogan expressed genuine astonishment at Floyd Mayweather's physical condition, marveling at how impressively fit he remains despite his age. During their discussion, Rogan noted that Mayweather doesn't just look sharp, he still moves with the precision, speed, and fluidity that defined his prime years in sport. Rogan credited Floyd's unwavering discipline, consistent training regimen, and clean lifestyle for his longevity, pointing out that very few retired athletes sustain that level of performance. For Rogan, Mayweather is still operating at an elite level, both physically and mentally, making him a rare specimen in the world of boxing.
Floyd Mayweather used to have these crazy workouts and he would crack open a Pepsi. And people are like, what the is he doing? Like, he's crazy. But no, he's not. He's smart. And you would think, like, there's no way this guy, he treats his body like a temple. But he does. That guy did it the right way. Never drank, never party, would run home from the club at 2 o'clock in the morning. If boxing is hit and don't get hit, who's better than Floyd? How many people cracked him? Chain cracked him? My God, knocked his tooth out and then would carry it around on a necklace. That's a second fight.
Despite earning hundreds of millions throughout his career, Mayweather, like many elite athletes, still faces ongoing financial responsibilities that require strategic planning. Lavish spending, business ventures, taxes, and supporting an entourage can challenge even the richest athletes. To ensure long-term stability, Mayweather smartly turned to lucrative exhibition bouts, low-risk events that still bring in massive paydays. By leveraging his global brand, he continues earning without putting his health in serious jeopardy. This calculated approach not only preserves his financial empire, but also strengthens his reputation as a shrewd businessman inside and outside the ring.
Floyd Money Mayweather up until recently didn't have any money, so Floyd is the highest earning athlete in his career, making over $1.1 billion. And after making a killing, he ended up retiring in 2017. However, he dug himself into a hole after making super lavish purchases like this LA mansion. It was so bad that he actually owed $22.2 million to the IRS, which made him have to come out of retirement to pay that back. Like and follow for more.
Rogan offered a blunt critique, claiming that Mayweather's fame wasn't solely built on raw, natural explosiveness like Mike Tyson's, but rather on his calculated arrogance and brash persona. According to Rogan, Floyd deliberately crafted a character that irritated audiences, making people pay to watch, not because they adored him, but because they hoped to see him lose. It was a polarizing tactic that translated into huge pay-per-view numbers, but also built a fan base largely driven by animosity instead of admiration.
Again, this John Gotti III, who is a very good up-and-coming MMA fighter. So, he has all the weapons, takedowns, submissions, kicks, all that jazz. But he's choosing to fight Floyd in a boxing fight just for money, just like Conor McGregor did. It's really a trick. He gets these people to box with him. They have no business boxing with him. And he's making millions and millions of dollars doing this way after his competitive career is over.
Well,
which is,
I guess he's earned that right.
Hey, man, he's a genius. He really is a genius. He's a genius in figuring out a way to keep making money. And one of the reasons why people watch him fight is not because he's like Mike Tyson, just goes out and destroys people. They like watching him fight because they hate him. Because he talks so much shit, and he's like, look at my $1 million watch, look at my fucking jet, look at my house, look at this. He's like constantly showing you all these things that he has. Like he'll lay out watches in a hotel bed, like this is $1 million worth of watches. This watch goes for $2 million. And they're like, this is my small watch that I take sometimes, but I want to show you.
Rogan described one wild sequence where Mayweather dominated and toyed with John Gotti III, forcing repeated clinches as Gotti ignored the referee's warnings. Throughout the fight, Mayweather landed pinpoint counters while Gotti stayed defensive, hanging on for dear life. The real drama erupted during their rematch in Mexico. Mayweather landed a clean, legal right hook, yet the referee wrongly called it illegal. Rogan was livid, blasting the officiating and saying the first referee was terrible and should have been removed mid-fight. In Rogan's view, Floyd was 100% in the right.
Did you see the Mayweather Gotti thing yesterday? So John Gotti, the mobster, his grandson,
the brawl,
he was holding. So Floyd is just piecing him up. Even at 46, he's the greatest of all time. And this kid is really an MMA fighter. He's a tough guy. He caught Floyd a couple times with some little shots, but mostly he's just getting boxed up by literally the greatest boxer of all time. But he was holding on quite a bit and wouldn't let go and was trying to hold and clinch and hit, which is something you can do in MMA. So he's protecting himself from Floyd, but he's not letting go. And so Kenny Bayless gets tired of him not listening and not letting go, and he pushes him off and he says, that's it, I'm stopping this fight. That's it. You won't listen to me, I am calling this fight. So he goes crazy and gets away from Kenny Bayless and just starts wailing punches at Floyd. Look at this, Floyd catches him with a counter right there. Bang! It became a melee.
Did you see the Mayweather-Gotti fight yesterday? Rogan asked, diving into chaos. He explained how John Gotti III, grandson of the infamous mob boss, was repeatedly clinching to avoid Mayweather's precise shots. Even at 46, Floyd was systematically breaking him down, outclassing him with the skill of the greatest boxer of all time. While Gotti managed to land a couple of small shots, he mostly relied on holding and rough MMA-style tactics. Referee Kenny Bayless eventually had enough, stopping the fight after Gotti ignored repeated warnings. But then things spiraled. Gotti shoved free from Bayless and began wildly throwing punches at Mayweather, sparking an all-out melee. Floyd, calm under fire, slipped shots and answered with sharp counter as the ring descended into chaos. Clip 11. In a candid interview, former world champion Ricky Hatton weighed in on the never-ending debate between Floyd Mayweather.
In your opinion, who's better? Who's tougher?
I think Floyd Mayweather. Yeah, I think Floyd Mayweather. I mean, and that sounds rich because he absolutely was probably one of the most brutal knockouts in boxing history, I'd say. You know what I mean? When I see him getting knocked out by Pacquiao on Instagram or YouTube or anything like that, it's in the top 10 of the most destructive knockouts of all time.
Yeah.
But I was a little bit past myself back in the day. You know, I'd had one or two. I wasn't a master of defence like Floyd Mayweather. I'd take 4 to get one in sometimes, you know. And
I'm the same, Mickey.
And in between fights, I'd be up in weight, down in weight, up and down in weight. You know, on the lash and and all that stuff. And that so wasn't looking after my body like an athlete probably should have done. And I think I was, by the time I got in the ring for the Manny Pacquiao thing, I was a little more a shell of myself. So, but I think when I fought Floyd, I was a little bit more, something like, you know what I mean? Yeah, but when I fought Manny, I think the light had burnt out, yeah.
In a candid interview, former world champion Ricky Hatton weighed in on the never-ending debate between Floyd Mayweather and Manny Pacquiao. Having shared the ring with both legends in their prime, Hatton admitted that Pacquiao brought relentless aggression and explosive offense, but Mayweather's defensive genius and unmatched ring IQ made him a superior all-around fighter. Hatton highlighted Mayweather's ability to shut down an opponent's strengths and make mid-fight adjustments, giving him a decisive edge. While respecting both men, Hatton concluded that Mayweather's perfect record, technical mastery, and ability to control fights from start to finish set him apart in terms of dominance and strategy.
Trained with Manny Pacquiao had to be a huge asset for you, because even though Bay was probably your biggest name opponent up until then, you'd been. How many rounds had you done with Manny?
250 rounds over 3 world title campaigns.
So it started with the Jeff Horn fight?
It did, yeah. When Jeff got obviously the fight with Manny Pacquiao, I was in Los Angeles. And I was sparring his ex-sparring partners, Jose Ramirez and Ray Beltran. I was doing 5-on-5, and these guys are good fighters, former world champions. And Freddie come over and goes, Manny's got the Jeff Horn fight. So yeah, I'm hearing about it. He goes, well, you're sparring his sparring partners. How would you like to go against your countrymen and help Manny prepare? I said, Freddie, I'm all in. I know he's my countryman, but this is an opportunity of a lifetime. Yeah, Manny's my idol.
You can't pass that up.
So I had a fight a couple of weeks after the sparring sessions that I impressed and got the opportunity. So I still had to win that fight against Camille Bala in New Zealand. And in between that fight, I got a really bad cut on my eye. And the first thing that went to my head was, I got to sparring with Manny Pacquiao in a week and a half. I go, now this cut might stop it. So I wasn't even thinking about the opponent or thinking about the fight. I knew I was going to win this fight by any means, but I was thinking about my opportunity against Manny Pacquiao. But we got there.
Did you super glue it?
We got the stitches.
Yeah.
A week after the stitches came out, I was putting so much vitamin E cream and every bit of, theory that I could find on the internet to make sure it closed up good. And
George Kambosos Jr. once had the rare opportunity to train alongside Manny Pacquiao, and he credits those sessions with shaping his career. Kambosos often recalls how he learned far more than combinations and footwork. Pacquiao taught him mindset discipline and how to push past mental and physical barriers. According to Kambosos, Pacquiao's lessons went beyond the physical side of boxing. He showed that the sport is as much mental warfare as it is physical combat. Observing Pacquiao's training habits, Kambosos learned how to combine speed, intelligence, and preparation into a complete fight-winning formula.
Me or him? I said, hold on, Floyd. He said, answer the question. I said, Floyd, there's more titles now than then. There was just one then. That's no fair. Answer the question. I said, okay, you. Do I not have 28 titles? And I was just like, I don't know. He said, oh, you're supposed to be the expert. But the reason why I said that is because there's minor and major titles. Who else greater than me? I said, Henry Armstrong, Roberto Duran. He said, oh my God. He said, you said something about Pacquiao. Yeah, I said, I think you'll beat Pacquiao every day of the week, but I think he had a greater career. He said, you ain't think Pacquiao was on steroids? I said, he didn't fail any tests, Floyd. He said, look at me in my eyes. I can't say, man, he didn't fail. He said, oh man, you fake. I saw that as a initiation. This is what you about to get. Nobody's greater than Floyd. My thing is, he should feel that way, but you can't expect everybody to feel that you're the greatest, Floyd.
Mayweather has always been fiercely protective of his undefeated legacy, sometimes stirring controversy in the process, especially when comparisons to other greats arise. One notable instance came from YouTuber Showbiz Adult, who recalled Mayweather's heated reaction when someone suggested Manny Pacquiao might be the greater fighter. According to the account, Mayweather fired back by accusing Pacquiao of using performance-enhancing drugs. The exchange highlighted just how much Floyd values his standing in boxing history, and how strongly he reacts when that position is questioned.
They fought too late. I mean, if that fight could have been arranged by Riyadh Season, they probably would have caught them both in their prime, and it would have been chaos.
Yeah, Manny was done before that ever
Yeah,
started.
and he also had a blown shoulder going into the fight.
Yeah.
He needed shoulder surgery before the fight even started.
Joe Rogan has often voiced disappointment over the delayed timing of the long-hyped Mayweather-Pacquiao fight, believing it happened years after it should have. Reflecting on their 2015 showdown, Rogan suggested that if it had taken place when both were at their absolute peaks, perhaps during a massive global spectacle like Saudi Arabia's Riyadh Season, it could have produced one of the greatest moments in boxing history. Instead, the bout underwhelmed, in part because Pacquiao entered with a shoulder injury. Joined by UFC veteran Jorge Masvidal, Rogan lamented that the fight missed its chance to become a truly era-defining event in combat sports.
They fought too late. I mean, if that fight could have been arranged by Riyadh Season, they probably would have caught them both in their prime, and it would have been chaos.
Yeah, Manny was done before that ever
Yeah,
started.
and he also had a blown shoulder going into the fight.
Yeah.
He needed shoulder surgery before the fight even started.
So, after hearing all the takes, the controversies, and behind-the-scenes stories, what's your verdict on this entire saga?